Hi, Henry Coles here for the Life Groups, part 2 of Godly Associations, Relationships, and Connections. Psalms 1 gives us the guidelines for having healthy, productive associations, connections, and relationships, but it also gives us some warnings against those that will be detrimental to us. Let's pick it up in verse 4, Psalm 1, verse 4. The ungodly are not so. Not so the ungodly, Moffat's translation. Not so the lawless, Rotham's translation. Not so are the wicked, the American Baptist Publishing Society. It is not, it is nothing like this with the wicked. Nothing like this, Jarris translation. But are like the shaft which the wind driveth away, King James. But they are like chaff which the wind scattereth, DeWitt's translation. No, they are like chaff swept away by the wind, Moffat's translation. But they are like the chaff, worthless, dead, without substance, which the wind drives away, the Amplified Bible. Verse 5, therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment. For this cause shall the lawless not stand in the judgment, Rotham's translation. So then the wicked will have no permanent status when judgment is metered out, the Harrison translation. When judgment comes, the ungodly shall not stand, Moffat's translation. Nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous, King James, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous, Rotham's translation. Nor shall the sinful last in the community of the just, Moffat's translation. Sinners will have no part in the reunion of the just, Knox translation. And the evildoers will have no place among the upright, the Bassett translation. There will be no sinners where the righteous assemble, Harrison's translation. Verse 6, for the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, for Jehovah knoweth, the American Standard Version. For Yahweh doth acknowledge, Rotham translation. For the Lord regardeth, JPS translation. The eternal cares for the life of the just, Moffat's translation. For the Lord watcheth over the way of the just, the New American Bible. They walk, the just, under the Lord's protection, the Knox translation. But the way of the ungodly shall perish. But the way of the lawless shall vanish, the Rotham translation. But the way of the wicked vanishes, New American Bible. The path of the wicked, how soon is it lost to the sight, Knox translation. But the way of the wicked is doomed, Jarris translation. But the way of the ungodly shall end in ruin, the Burrell's translation. In other words, those ungodly relationships are only fleeting, they're temporary, they can appear to have some benefit, but in time they will prove to be meaningless. Many times they can bring destruction, they can bring about hurt, they can bring about brokenness. And so God warns us, be careful in how we set up and how we choose our associations, our relationships, and who we connect ourselves with. Thus, that's why it's so important for us to have life groups and to have a community of believers who believe like us, to be equally yoked with those that love Christ just like us, and talk about this more in part 2 of Godly Associations, Connections, and Relationships. God bless you. Have a great day.